Huh. I'll never get this right if I can't even hit the outside of the target. Oh, you startled me. I didn't quite see you there. Oh, yes. I know that it's quite early. I wanted to be out here before sunrise so that I'd have some extra time to practice. Oh, what am I practicing? Well, after getting that letter from my brother, I need to go defend my family. Obena was very clear in his letter. The Hyclatians have my mother and sister. Alive. I have to do what I can. Right now, since my mother has been gone, I've been the acting matriarch of House Asphalia. Hyclatian law dictates that the acting matriarch or patriarch of a house will speak on behalf of all the other members of the house and is trusted to have the best judgment based on seniority. It's archaic, yes, but they won't listen to the testimonies of any of my other siblings. I just know it. It's crucial that I be there. Although, truth be told, I'm not even sure that even with my testimony that the Hyclatians intend to let my mother and sister live. I feel strongly that this trial is just a formality before their inevitable execution. The Hyclatians are strong believers in the old law, you know. They have many traditions that most races see as outdated and barbaric. But to honor those traditions, they do believe strongly in a trial of peers. I've even heard of actual murderers going free based on the jurisdiction of the audience. They were all swayed by the testimony of the accused's family. Usually, the house patriarch or matriarch would offer a bribe of sorts to the Hyclatian Empire, such as producing extra crops for less gold, should they be a house of farmers. It often carries the favor intended, but sadly, I have nothing to barter except my own service. I can't imagine defending someone, even a family member, if they were to have actually committed something as cruel as murder. But my sister and mother, they're slaves. They're not cold-hearted killers. They just wanted their freedom. They don't deserve to be held captive any longer. And I know that my mother and sister wouldn't have sought a violent means to an end had the man who keeps them been good to them. They'd never bring harm to an innocent soul. Never. It's not the way of House Asphalia. Both of my parents made that extremely clear from the time that we were all very young. So, since I know I have nothing of value to barter, there's very likely little chance that I will be able to persuade the jury to let them go. And although he did not mention it in his letter, I know that my brother Obena and I are of the same mind. He is likely preparing for exactly what I am preparing for now. To have to fight for their freedom. The Hyclatians have a very well-known law. The law states that anyone accused of a crime can win their freedom by besting the champion of the Hyclatian court in combat. If the accused is successful, and they kill the court's champion, then they earn the right to freedom if they should choose it, or to take the place of the court's champion. If the accused are not fit or strong enough to fight for themselves, the leader of their house can fight in their place. Of course, if the accused or the house leader dies in combat, well, the Hyclatians consider the debt of blood and justice to be paid. Obena is likely planning to step in to fight, but they will only allow him to do so if I, as acting house leader, either do not appear at the trial or verbally give consent for him to take my place. And I cannot lose another member of my family. I will not forfeit the right to combat to Obena and risk his safety when it's my duty as the acting house leader. I just need to learn how to fight before I leave is all. I don't have much of a chance either way, so The fact that I don't have a lot of time to prepare likely won't make much of a difference. It will take a stroke of luck and cunning for me to be able to defeat the court's champion. Mostly luck. It wouldn't hurt to know how to use some of the weapons they provide, though. I've been practicing all morning with a bow and arrow that I found on one of the displays in your weapon room. I'm terribly sorry for not asking beforehand. I certainly hope that I haven't offended you. It's just, I tend to act rashly when I'm not thinking clearly or I've got a rush of adrenaline. Please forgive me. But since you're awake now, I was meaning to ask you, actually. I mean, please don't feel obligated to say yes. I know it's quite rude of me to impose such a question like this on you, but would you mind training with me a little? I apologize if it's forward of me to assume that the weapons in your weapon room have ever been used, especially by you. But if you've gotten any knowledge of battle or combat, I could certainly use all the help that I could get. If I remember correctly, my father told me tales of the Hyclatian trials by combat. He said that the weapons scattered around the arena are the weapons most commonly used at the current time by the Hyclatian army. When they attacked my village, I remember the soldiers carrying spears, bows, and large curved swords. The name of those swords always escapes me. Oh, yes, those ones. You don't have any of those in the armor room, so I suppose you would have to teach me how to hold one of the other swords from your collection. My plan right now is to run to the nearest bow and arrow. I venture a guess that if I can at least keep a fair amount of distance between me and my opponent, I may be able to fire off a lucky shot and hit him in the neck, or at least injure him too badly to continue fighting. The Hyclatians are large and muscular, and the court's champion is always a towering brute, so my arrow will have to have a lot of force behind it in order to do any sort of harm to a man like that. And my arms are dreadfully weak in their current state. But there's nothing that can be done about that now, I suppose. Gods help me. It will take a miracle for me to be victorious, but I suppose, even in the worst of scenarios, even if I lose the battle, the blood price will be paid, and my siblings will have a mother again. I will have died with honor and courage, and I will have brought honor back to House Hesphalia. I can tell by the look of concern on your face that, well, you have some concerns. I'm very sorry, and I'm even more sorry that this may be the last time that we get to see each other. I've done you a terrible disservice by abandoning you like this, and it's very ungrateful of me to do when you've been so kind and opened your home to me so unconditionally. But I simply have no other choice. I owe you more than you will ever understand, and I'm so insanely grateful to you for the opportunity that you've given me here. And even now, you're so kind and so generous, offering to help me prepare for a battle that's not even yours to fight. It will truly break my heart to part ways with you tonight after our training is over, but I must begin to make my way to Hyclatia at sunset. Goodbyes are always so hard, you know? So, let's wait until tonight to say our final farewell, okay?